Now, Tom, a couple of days out from the league final, looking forward to it?
Yeah, definitely am. As an individual, and the team, we're really looking forward to a chance, playing in another final, and silverware at stake. So yeah, it's definitely not going to be a bad day when you're looking forward to things like that.
I suppose you laid out your stall, I suppose, in Salt Hill, really, when you said in an interview afterwards that you wanted to win a league medal. I suppose, how do you find people that kind of, put down the league?
Yeah, look, I suppose I see where they're coming from when it comes to July. People only be talking about who's going up the steps then. But as a player, we probably only have 4 competitions really a year. You have your pre-season Munster League competition, you have the Allianz National League and Munster Championship and All Ireland Championship. So there's only 4 chances of getting medals and silverware in a year really. And I'm just of the view always, get as much as you can while you can. That goes for any game you're playing, and any competition that you're in, you want to win. So yeah, look, and it's, as I say, it's a national medal and a national title. You want as many as those as you can get in your career. So yeah, looking forward to Sunday, and want to win on Sunday too.
Yeah, I suppose when you contrast where you are now to 12 months ago, there's a big difference in your early season form. What do you put that down to?
Yeah, I suppose a lot of people have kind of been talking about that. We must have been going awful bad this time last year or something. But no, look, we went back training maybe slightly earlier this year in December time. That's possibly standing to a good few players. This time of year, maybe just that 3-4 weeks ahead, as you say, to where we were this time 12 months ago. Which is good. I know as a player, I love the feeling of having that work done, and it's just about managing, I suppose, your load and making sure that you're fresh then come training and game days. There's nothing worse than when you're trying to, as an individual, you feel you're chasing, and that you're a small bit behind on the work that you should have done at this stage of the year. So definitely, just it's good so far. And yeah, things are going well, and looking forward to the league final on Sunday.
Is it easier to do that, I suppose, pre-Christmas work? It was a holiday coming up.
Yeah. Look, I'm sure John and Paul and RSNC Carver, when they were mapping out the year, I'm sure that did, I suppose, factor their decision into getting a few weeks into us, maybe in December time before we went abroad. So we still got ample break after the club championship, and the hunger was there, and we gave a good few weeks of hard training in December. But as you say, it was made maybe that small bit easier knowing that there was a 2-week break to be got at the end of December and early January.
Yeah, and you've kind of built through the league. I suppose the performance, third quarter performance against Tip, you really show what you're about, and it's probably a good feeling that you're kind of reaching your peak for the league final.
Yeah, definitely. That's it's still early in the year. You're still, while people say we might be a bit ahead, there's still plenty of work left to do, and definitely plenty of areas that we can tidy up on, and areas to work on and improve. And we look forward to doing that over the coming months and into the summer. But yeah, it's definitely good to be in a league final, and a chance to win early season silverware.
And against Kilkenny, a team you've a lot of recent history against, and obviously a great All-Ireland final last year.
Yeah, look, I think you look back at our last 4 championship outings. Kilkenny have won 2, we've won 2, and only 3 points has been the largest margin that separated the sides. So expect no different again on Sunday. It's going to be a tight game, and a physical game, and hopefully we get over the line, but I've no doubt that it's one that'll be exciting for both Kilkenny and Limerick supporters and neutral supporters to watch.
It must be strange in the back of your mind that it's going to be Munster Championship 2 weeks afterwards as well. Have you allowed yourself to think about it?
No, to be honest, we haven't. Everyone else seems to be thinking about it all right, but I suppose, yeah, when you're in the thick of it and you're a player, you're just focused on your next game. Our next game, there's a trophy at stake and it's a final. That takes a lot of focus in itself, and we want to make sure that we're right for Friday or Sunday. And as an individual, I want to make sure I'm right for Sunday, and my thoughts and preparations, and as a team, our thoughts and preparations aren't going beyond that. You know, I'm sure maybe, you know, John and the management team have obviously, you know, have their plan in place of what we'll do after Sunday and prep for that game on the 23rd of April. But, you know, the team of players, you know, we want to play on Sunday and win on Sunday.
It is going to be a hectic period, though, whatever way you look at it. And talking to Sean Finn last week, he seems to enjoy games week on week. Are you in the same mindset?
Yeah, geez, absolutely. I mean, as players in the GAA, we've been crying out. We're crying out for more games, you know, for many years. You know, nearly jealous of, you know, being able to see, you know, people playing soccer go in week in, week out, or, you know, being able to rugby on week in, week out. And, you know, we were waiting 3 or 4 weeks between games to get one. So yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, you have to manage it obviously during the week to make sure you're fresh, you know, come the weekend, but it's absolutely manageable and it's absolutely brilliant. You know, you'll be doing a hard session at the weekend anyway, so it's much definitely better as a player to look forward to playing a game instead.
And the start of the league, did you envisage the amount of frees you'd have to take? Is that something you're I know you're taking for a hand, but you working on them for the majority of the year?
Yeah, it's something I suppose I keep practicing. Yeah, as you say, I take them with the club, so for that point of view, like, I like to keep up to touch with them. But yeah, just I suppose my role in the team, I suppose, is I've been called to take them in championship for the odd time, you know, 1 or 2, and, you know, if our main free taker, you know, who's been Aaron in previous years, gets injured or gets taken off, I might have to take 1 or 2 towards the end of a game. So, you know, I always continuously stay practicing just in case I have to fulfill that role for the team. So yeah, I got to take a bit more than I usually do already this year, the way the league went. And yeah, it's nice to get a few under the belt, but, you know, yeah, just keep practicing away. And if I take them and come championship, I take them. But yeah, I'll stay practicing anyway and be sure to be ready for the moment if it does come.
Yourself nearly always named at left wing forward, and you had your buddy beside you, 𝘕𝘰𝘦𝘭𝘴 Lynch, back this year. How important was it to get Keane back, and I suppose Peter in front of you then as well?
Yeah, you know, you talk about those 2 lads, great additions to, you know, to have him back again this year, having not been available for selection last year. Creates a huge buzz. You know, Peter is an absolutely phenomenal player in the inside forward line, and, you know, to have Keano, as you say, beside me in the half forward line, you know, one of the best players that have ever played the game. It's great. You know, it creates a huge buzz for the panel to have the 2 guys back. You know, and see them, I suppose, vying for places again, and, you know, creates, you know, extra competition between the whole panel, which is only a good thing for us to push us on again.
And also then 𝘚𝘱𝘵 and the other wing, you just seem to have an understanding. Is that from when you were in school, or have you just picked it up through the years?
Yeah, I suppose we've been playing together a long time. Playing together, I suppose, in the half forward line since 2018. Yeah, I don't know. I think not like it was initial spark. It's definitely built gradually over time, I think. You know, we've a very good relationship, and, you know, we know each other's games, I suppose, inside out at this stage. Continuing to learn, but know an awful lot about each other at the same time, and, you know, what way we like balls, and I suppose our positioning, you know, to find each other on the pitch. Yeah, and hopefully it continues anyway into the future, and, you know, that we continue performing well.
And there's a core that were born in '96, and I saw a stat that between Munster and All-Irelands, you've won a championship every year since 2012, bar 2016. Like, when did you realise that you were a special group?
Yeah, geez, don't know. Have we realised it yet? Really, when you're, as I say, when you're in the thick of it, you're just so it's always next one and next one and next trophy that you can win. But yeah, look, that's I suppose a fairly decent stat to have. You know, going back, that's 11 years ago. Yeah, we've been lucky. You know, there's been a lot of good days. And I think, I suppose, what this group has done well, you know, with the bad days we've had, you know, I remember looking back to 2013, you know, All-Ireland semi-final minor defeat, and 14, you know, final defeat at minor as well. And, you know, with this group in the senior, you know, losing to 2019 semi-final, you know, this team has always, I suppose, had that character to bounce back. You know, and while they were hard days, you know, some of us would argue, would we be here, you know, having not got those those harsh lessons that they were at the time, but it kind of motivates you again, and gives you a bit of, I suppose, bite between the teeth to go on and do more, and yeah, we've been lucky then to get those successful days over the last number of years, and I know we're determined to make sure they don't stop.
That harsh lesson you mentioned, I suppose Kilkenny in 2019 was one of those, and you got your, I suppose, revenge in the All-Ireland final. But how important was that game in your development?
The 2019 semi-final, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, look, obviously just at the time you're only full of disappointment, having lost an All-Ireland semi-final. But yeah, I suppose hindsight's a great thing. Yeah, look, we learned a lot from that day. Kilkenny came in and they bossed us for that first 20 minutes. We were probably just, weren't on the money that day, especially let them get too big a lead at the start. I suppose maybe taught us that, yeah, we're a good team, but we're not world beaters unless we bring the right attitude and are in the right frame of mind on any given day. We have to do that, otherwise any team can beat us. And that was probably the biggest lesson we learned from that loss in 2019. Just to make sure that we are switched on and ready for battle, because if we're not, we can be beaten.